Okay, let's go ahead and set up everything. First off, you need to set up your color settings. So we're going to go to Edit, Color Settings, and the best thing to select is North American Prepress 2, which will go in and put your RGB working space with Adobe 1998. Some people prefer the color match. Most people just go with Adobe 1998. And it also sets up the color management policies and ask when opening. And let's just go ahead and hit OK. And let's open up the image that we're going to use to make the profile. There's actually two of them. So let's open up the first one. And here it comes up because there's a missing profile. We're going to leave as is, which is don't color manage, because we want to leave it alone as much as possible. So hit OK. And the image pops up. Unless it's got all the funny colors in there. So the first thing we need to do is, well, we're going to print it actually. So go to File, Print with Preview, and this dialog box pops up. Now, the main thing that we need to do, the most important thing in this box, is with CS2 you want to select No Color Management. That's going to turn off everything that Photoshop does as far as color management goes, and it's just going to print the colors as they are, which is exactly what we want with a color profile. Now let's go ahead and go into page setup so we can select our printer. I'll just select the R2400, go into properties. Now most of the time when people have their printer set up by default, it comes up showing this screen with all these little icons. Doesn't do us much good when we're going to be doing a profile. So we need to go into Advanced. Now with the Pro printers, such as the 4000 and 4800, it's going to look a little bit different, but you just need to get into the Advanced settings. It's kind of like this. Anyway, we need to come in here and go into ICM and turn color management off. On the Pro printers there will actually be a thing right here that says no color management, and you can just select that rather than messing around with all this. We need to make sure that we select the right paper type. In this case I have the matte black inks installed on this printer, in case you're wondering. I'm making a profile for an art paper. So I'm just going to select it exactly the way that I want to print. In this case I'm going to select Enhanced Matte Paper. It gives me some nice functionality because with the Enhanced Matte I can either feed it from the top or I can feed it from the back. If you have thicker paper and it's not loading, well, you have the option when you select the Enhanced Matte. You also need to set up the resolution. Most people are going to go with Best Photo. With the luster and glossy papers, you also, on most printers, have the option of Photo RPM, which is actually 2880 DPI. It's really up to you to decide whatever resolution you want, be it, you want high speed or high quality. You get to choose. Just make sure you remember how you have it set up. In this case, I'm going to select Best Photo. And since we're printing the profile sideways, I'm going to select Landscape. Now, you can turn on high speed or you can turn it off. Personally, I prefer it on. A lot of people will notice that there is a difference in the print quality, a slight difference in the print quality if you have high speed on. It's really up to you to decide whether you want the high speed on or off. You can change it after you've done a profile, but it's best if you create the profile exactly how you're going to print it. So I'm just going to leave this on high speed. Now this edge smoothing, pretty much all the printer drivers will have something to this effect. You want to make sure that's off, especially when you're printing this profile target, because otherwise it will mess up the look of the profile. It basically goes in and resizes the image in the driver. That's fine and dandy for a photograph, but for the profile target that we're printing, it makes the image all fuzzy. So you want to make sure the edge smoothing is off. And generally speaking, you don't want to have that on unless you're printing a really low resolution image, like a web image or something like that, which you'll probably want to resize that in Photoshop anyway. Now, one thing we can do while we're here is we can save the settings. This way you don't have to worry about making sure you set up the settings exactly the same way. So let's just click on Save Settings, and I'm going to call this Illuminata Photo Cotton. No, Illuminata, no, Cotton. I guess it only allows you to go so long. Anyway, so let's just hit Save. Anytime I go to print, if I select Illuminata Cotton, it's going to come in, select Enhanced Matte Paper, Best Photo, turn off Color Management, High Speed on, Edge Smoothing off. It's going to set up everything exactly the way I want it, which is really nice. Now, one other thing before we get out of this screen is we need to make sure that the printer is aligned and that it doesn't have any nozzle clogs. If you send me a profile to make and it's not aligned or it's clogged or something like that, you're not going to get a very good profile. So we need to go into maintenance. The R2400, you can do an auto nozzle check. Other printers just has a regular nozzle check. Anyway, you want to do all these. You want to do the nozzle check and the head cleanings until you get a clean print. And you also want to do the print head alignment. Epson generally recommends that you do a print head alignment like every month. Most people never do it, but there's a big difference in quality, especially in large areas of gray and stuff like that. A lot of times if your printer isn't aligned properly, it'll be kind of have a coarse pattern to it because the print head isn't aligned. Once you align that, all of a sudden it looks perfect. It's a nice smooth gradient. So you always want to make sure your print head is aligned and that the nozzles are clean. So once you've done that, you're okay. Let's just hit OK a bunch of times. You'll notice it shows the image horizontal now, and we're ready to print. So just go ahead and print, and away you go.